we've seen a trend towards corporations taking a stronger stand on issues, and there's data out there that says that buyers, customers want companies to stand up. Do you think that's going to continue, and do you have any recommendations for, say, CEOs or chief marketing officers, how they should approach that? Because it's a tricky landscape.
It's a very tricky landscape. You can get a lot of feedback on one side of an issue, and you can see it maybe in social media, and you can see it charted, and you can believe that maybe there might even be polling data out there that's reinforcing. Then you make a corporate decision, and then you suddenly find out there was all this other surface tension beneath the surface, or subsurface tension rather, where a larger portion of your customers haven't either been thinking about it, or once they do, think exactly the opposite. And so you might have thought, well, we're riding something in a positive direction. It's going to be a net gain for us, and see a blowback from your customer base that you couldn't see and couldn't anticipate. I mean, there is a whole body of thought, and it's, I believe, still taught in business schools, ethics of business, corporate responsibility, so on and so forth. I really think and this is a C-suite issue. This is the corporate executive level and the board of directors. What are your core values? And what are they? What do you do to reinforce them? And are you willing to live by them and advertise them as those core values? And you can't have 700 core values. You can't.
Right.
You can maybe even have 7. What are they? And identify yourself with those and reinforce them, because at that point, as in politics, as in anything else, you gain and reassert credibility. But if you try to, I mean, this is an old adage, it's almost a cliche. If you try to be all things to all people, you'll never succeed. And even a company that we know very famously makes a lot of coffee all over the world. Again, back to my original observation.
Yeah.
Does a lot of things great. One incident, one episode of significant importance, inconsistent with its core values, or just separated from training in those values.
Right.
It wasn't even separate from the values. It was a misallocation of training in relation to those values. Right. Can create an enormous concern, a stock shuddering a moment, and you have to shut the company down for a day to reattach people to those core values. So I would say, and I'm not in any position to give advice other than to say values matter, how you communicate them matters, how you train them internally, and a sense of discipline about all of those, meaning fewer is probably better than more.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for your time, taking a moment out of your vacation to join us here. Very appreciative of it.
Thanks so much. Glad to help.